relatives or rich neighbors, in case they may invite you in return and you would be repaid. But when you give a banquet, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, and the blind, and you will be blessed, because they cannot repay you. For you will be repaid at the resurrection of the righteous. One of the dinner guests, on hearing this, said to him, Blessed is anyone who will eat bread in the kingdom of God. Then Jesus said to him, Someone gave a great dinner and invited many. At the time of the dinner, he sent his slave to say to those who had been invited, Come, for everything is ready now. But they all alike began to make excuses. The first said to him, Oh, I have bought a piece of land and I must go out and see it. Please accept my apologies. And another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen and I'm going to try them out. Please accept my apologies. And another said, I've just been married and therefore I cannot come. So the slave returned and reported this to his master. Then the owner of the house became angry and said to his slave, Go out at once into the streets and lanes of the town and bring in the poor, the crippled, the blind, and the lame. And the slave said, Sir, what you ordered has been done, and there is still room. Then the master said to the slave, Go out into the roads and lanes and compel people to come in, so that my house may be filled. For I tell you, none of those who are invited will taste my dinner. This is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
My friends, will you pray with me? Holy Spirit, do thy will, O Holy Spirit. Come, fill this place with your love. Come and sing your song to our spirits. Come and fill us. And in this preaching moment, O God, I ask that you remove from me anything that gets in the way of your word being heard. Remove it as far as the east is from the west, so that the words of my mouth and the meditations of all of our hearts may be acceptable to your grace, to your ears, O God, our rock, and without a doubt, our Redeemer. Amen. When people ask me about our church, I usually answer them with my 10-second elevator speech. We're a place of safety and sanctuary for all of God's people, regardless of the label the world puts on them, and together we empower each other to be the heart, hands, and feet of Christ. And when I do that, when I open with those, when I share those words, it tends to open things up. It gets people to think a little bit. It's not the typical all are welcome mantra of many churches. It isn't some vague mission statement. They're sort of taken by surprise by the sense of purpose in it. It opens up conversation. What do you mean? What does that look like? You mean you're not just going to tell me what to do and repeat the same platitudes I'm used to hearing? So I go on to explain that our church hosts 4 other congregations. Wow, they say. And then I tell them one of those congregations speaks Spanish, one is made up of Pacific Islanders, one is a church plant from Ghana, and one is a neighborhood mission. And they look at me for a silent moment. And then, not so much amazed as stunned. Wow, how does that work? They're astounded to hear that there are people who disagree about certain things and are still willing to get together. It's counterintuitive to the way things are supposed to be. I forgot to mention that I do share with them also that on top of the languages, we should differ in our theologies. We differ in some of our political ideologies. We differ across many different spectrums. And so they're astounded to hear that people who might disagree about certain things still want to get together. It's counterintuitive to the way things are supposed to be. We are so divided in this country, not just along racial and linguistic lines, but our theologies, our political ideologies, our thoughts on immigration, our understanding of this or that. Dividing lines in our country and in our churches are drawn with Sharpies that want to permanently mark the landscape for those people and our people. We want to keep those people away from us because we don't know what disease they will bring. We don't know what kind of families they come from. We want to keep ourselves pure because if we mix, what will it do to the children? We want to keep them away from us because they might be rapists or drug dealers. We want to keep them out because of whom they love, and it's just not natural. We want to keep them out of here because they voted this way or that way. We want to divide ourselves. We like to divide ourselves because we're so darn good at it. It's none better than the church. I don't know how many churches have signs out front that say all are welcome unless you're in a same-gender loving relationship, and then we're going to try to fix you. All are welcome unless you're a woman who wants to preach, and then we're going to assign you children's Sunday school. All are welcome, but if you don't adhere to our dogma, our creed, our catechism to the letter, you're going to be hung out to dry. Assimilate. All are welcome, but assimilate to look like us. Be made in our likeness or be left out. The church has caused so much trouble. When I'm talking church, I'm talking the big church. The church has caused so much trauma and damage because of its exclusionary and elitist mindset that it is set itself above everyone else, and we wonder why people don't come to church. The churches also get trapped in the capitalistic mindset that if we invite the right people, if we create the right programs, if we have a product to sell, then all of our problems will be solved. If we invite people with the money, they will give more. If we invite people who agree with us, my voice will be louder. If we invite people with power, maybe we can be influential. It's easy to do, and I admit I found myself thinking along those same lines. What the church seems to forget is that it was built on the back of a man who died a criminal's death, stripped naked for the world to see. It seems to forget that the church is the embodiment of the one who came to sit in the mud, to touch the lepers, challenge the powers, to draw in the dirt, and to eat with the outcast. All are welcome unless you want to act like Jesus. What Jesus did, and what Jesus did in today's text is groundbreaking. In these parables that Margie read for us, Jesus directly addresses a religious dogma that has become so entwined with secular religion that the two were unable to be separated. He knocks down the hierarchy and levels a playing field. When his mother sang before his birth that God has brought down the rulers from their thrones and has lifted up the humble, God has filled the hungry with good things and sent the rich away hungry, this is what she was singing about. Jesus is addressing religious leaders who claim to be faithful, however, in reality are only good there to make themselves look good. Jesus is dining in the home of a Pharisee for Sabbath dinner. He was invited to the pastor's house for dinner, Sunday dinner. And while dining at that table, a man, earlier in the chapter that we didn't read, a man interrupts this dinner, earlier in chapter 14. A man with a gastrointestinal issue interrupts this dinner. And he approaches Jesus. And as he does it, Jesus looks the religious leaders in the eyes and asks, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath? And they stare at him. He stares back at them. He says, man, be healed. And in my sanctified imagination, when that man is healed, in my sanctified imagination, I see Jesus then reaching out his hand and inviting the man to come sit right down next to him at the preacher's house on Sunday dinner. How dare he? It causes those seated to squirm and they start to whisper, what on earth is this thing sitting at my table? Why is he sitting right next to the guest of honor? All of those gathered around that Shabbat table scoot away from the man. They are servants of a system that is built on honor and shame. And here the shame is given the seat of honor. The system they are slaves to is the marriage of the sacred and the secular. You see, in the Roman society, people constantly fought for the place of honor, the place of privilege. You wanted to be the one who was praised. You wanted to be the one who sat next to the powerful. You wanted to be the one people turned to for advice. You wanted the honor, and you would get it whatever the cost. People would turn over their neighbors to authorities if it meant they could step up the social ladder. People would ostracize the outsiders unless they could get something from them. People would ignore the plight of the poor because, well, they deserved it. And this mentality found its way into the church. And if we keep our religion pure, they thought, if we keep our religion pure from all those people, then maybe if we put obstacles in front of them, of someone, we can make sure that we can lord our power over them. We can make sure that we sit at the place of honor and keep our table full of just the right people, the people who will write the big checks, and keep those people to the margins where they belong. But in walks Jesus. In walks Jesus, who immediately breaks all the rules. In walks Jesus, who breaks the rules of society, breaks the rules of the church, and heals the man on the holy day, one of those people on the Sabbath, and then sits him down in the place of honor. He then looks around the table and notices the steam coming from the ears of the leader and tells them today's stories. He calls them out of their shame and honor mindset and levels the playing field. Jesus, using words that they'll understand, tells them that the place of honor is not for them to decide. If they scramble for it, but then are moved to a lower position, they'll become emblems of shame, the last thing they would ever want. So instead, knock off your self-righteousness and sit down at the foot of the table. That way when the host welcomes you, you will be honored. He takes down their system and flips it on its head. Instead of honor coming from prestige and power, it comes from humility and grace. But he goes even further in the next two and tells them not to solely invite those who will make them look good. Don't invite the power brokers and the bankers. Don't invite those who will boost the general fund, but instead invite those who are hungry and need food to eat. Invite those who are hungry for a word of hope. Invite those hungering for justice. Invite those who have been cast out into the margins and need a place to call home, a place to call safety and sanctuary. Jesus tells them to stop putting their trust in the finite riches of humans and instead put it in the infinite abundance of God. Open your table to the hungry. There's going to be food aplenty, he tells them. Take your 5 loaves and 2 fishes and start to serve the meal. And look, you'll see that you have 12 baskets left over. Jesus is telling them that the meal is already on the warming table, ready to go. So open up the doors and start to serve, and you will see that the party is just getting started. Don't get so dependent on the riches of the world the prestige and the power that comes with it, because the truth of the matter is those things are just going to rust and rot. But the abundant riches of God are a renewable resource that provides when the need is there. And here's the other thing about all of this. When Jesus opens up the table, he still invites everyone. In the third parable, he invites everyone. He doesn't kick the Pharisees out when he invites the man to sit down. He lets them stay. He doesn't say they have to go. He leaves them the choice to stay. Or should I go, like the good old Clash song, should I stay or should I go now? The man who was preparing the banquet invited everyone, and it took some learning, but the doors were open to those who were hungry for food. Those hungering for justice found sustenance, and yet there were some people who chose not to attend. It was up to them, but the feast went on. My beloved friends, when people ask me about this church, they want to know how it works in a world that is so divided. How do we who believe different things, how do we who speak different languages, how do we who have different political ideologies, how do we do it? And I look at them and I tell them, it's because we all realize we are guests at the table of Christ. We have been invited to feast with the Lord, and because of that, we set aside our differences and meet Jesus at the table. We meet Jesus at the table when we feast with him, when we feed each other, when we set aside those divisions and look each other in the eyes and see beloved ones of God, created in the divine image, fed by the body and blood of our Lord. Christ is the center of our lives together, and whatever disagreements or divisions we might have are set aside because we recognize that at the center of it all, we all proclaim Christ is Lord. And we join together over our differences to open up the table. But it doesn't mean that we're perfect. Far from it. In fact, we're invited to the table specifically because we are not perfect. We're invited to the table to see that I am not the center of my world. I am not the fount of righteousness, but rather that Christ is, and Christ refuses to give up on me and will continue to feed me. All that is asked is that we keep making room at the table where the conservative is going to sit down next to the LGBTQ teenager, and their heart is going to be broken and they see the image of God in their sister or brother. At the table, the rich business owner is going to have to find a seat next to the struggling student and will encounter their pain, where the punk rocker sits next to the country music loving granny, and they both can agree that Johnny Cash is where it's at. Let the politician sit next to the outcast and break their heart. Let the outcast break the politician's heart. You can almost bet you will be surprised in who you're sitting next to. You might not even like them. They might think they might be everything you can't stand, but keep making room at the table because it is there. It is at this feast of Christ where we are forced to see each other as nothing more or nothing less than children in the kingdom of God. It is at the table where Christ feeds us, where we don't feed ourselves, where Christ feeds us. It is at the table fed by the love of God where we are empowered to rise up and be the heart, hands, and feet of Christ in our world. It is at the table where the mighty are knocked down from their thrones and the poor are lifted up. It is at the table where the hungry find food and the rich go away hungry, having fed those in need, we pray. There is so much division in this world. There is so much division, and the church is called to name it and to step out of its self-centeredness and be a loud voice against it. The church is called to open the doors of God's grace to all, to affirm all, to welcome all, and in doing so is called to be a prophet to the world, a light exemplar of the realm of God. Some will come that work. All we need to do, all we are asked to do, is to make room at the table. All we're asked to do is to meet Jesus at the table, fully who we are. The doors of the church are open. The table is open. Come and meet Jesus. Amen. Our hymn of response is different than that in the bulletin. Sorry, Jimmy. It's going to be hymn number 162 in the Blue Book. Let us break bread together. I invite you to stand as you're able and sing this song as we prepare our hearts for the meal. Number 162.